What's up, YouTube? This is Brian Pfeiffer of MarketingMeathead.com, and today I'm coming at you live from Athens, Greece, and I'm going to give you a quick update on my European tour. All right, welcome back. So if you haven't noticed, I haven't put out a lot of videos in the last couple of weeks. I was in Chicago for a week, and then I went over to Europe and ended up going to Santorini, Mykonos, and now I'm in Athens. I'm outside my Airbnb. It's not the best scenery, but there was kind of a lot of wind up at the Parthenon. I was going to shoot a video up there, but I think because of the wind and whatnot, I don't think the sound quality would have been that good. So I'm kind of burning daylight right now, trying to catch the last few minutes of daylight. But let me give you a quick update on the tour here. Started out in Chicago, flew out of O'Hare on Friday night. This was a week ago, and I missed my connecting flight. One thing that you probably want to do when you plan a trip to Europe and you're going to a major hub airport, and then if you have to get your bag, switch planes, go through customs, you're going to need at least 3 hours, okay? Because by the time you get your bag and then get your get your luggage or your luggage in your bag and go through customs, you're talking at least an hour there. Then I was in Barcelona, had to switch terminals, which takes a little bit while to figure out exactly what terminal you're in and then where you got to go. And then once I figured that out, I got on a bus. It was like another 20 minutes. Then you have to check in, go through security again, and the whole shebang. So anyway, you need about 3 hours. I only had about an hour because my flight was a little bit delayed coming out of Chicago. Missed my connecting flight. Of course, I was stuck in Barcelona then for like another 10 hours before I ended up just booking another flight to Santorini, and took that. Then there was a weather delay, but after like 45 hours of traveling, I finally made it over to Santorini. Got a little bit of sleep, and then we went out the next day, did some sightseeing, checked out all the island. It's a pretty cool little island. It's definitely more of a place where you want to bring like a girlfriend, or maybe if you're a couple couples and you wanted like some romantic type scenery. I'll roll some footage here of some really cool shots that I got. It's definitely a cool island, definitely a place I'll probably visit one time. Did enjoy it. Getting out of there was a little bit interesting. You go down this like crazy hill up and down. You go back and forth, zigzag down the side of a mountain, and then when you finally get there, there's a ton of traffic, and then you're waiting for the ferry because you're taking a ferry then to Mykonos, and it was about 100 degrees. I don't know how much it is in Celsius, but it was freaking hot, and we're sitting out there in the hot sun. There's no cover, waiting in front of this ferry. It finally pulls up, and then when it pulls up, you think you're going to be one of the first people in, and then the people that were like all pushed to the one side, they're the last people in, so you're still stuck out there. And then you get into the area where the cars are, and underneath in the ferry, and that's not air conditioned, so it's like 130 degrees in there. So by the time you actually get up to your air conditioned seat in the ferry, it's like probably you've been through about an hour and a half of blazing hot sun, no wind, and then into the sauna of the area where the cars go in the ferry, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, but that's kind of an experience. So if you don't like that kind of thing and you don't like to sweat, then you probably don't want to take the ferry from Santorini to Mykonos. But we did enjoy that. Once you got up there and got in the air conditioning, it was actually kind of a nice ride and relaxing. Then we got to Mykonos. We ended up staying at the Mykonos Dove, which is kind of like next to the Mykonos Palace, so we were in like basically both those. And nice place, real cool, right on the water, nice beach, sandy beach. They had, in order to go onto the beach, you actually have to pay for your beach chairs, and depending how close you are to the ocean, you got to pay a little bit more. So that was kind of interesting. I thought staying at the hotel right on the beach, you'd get to use the chairs right on the beach, but that's not how it works there. So it's kind of interesting. You could use the ones up by the pool, but not the ones down by the beach. So is what it is. Did enjoy that, but if you definitely get a chance to, the air conditioning's peeing some water right behind me, kind of funny. But hopefully it doesn't go on my camera. The next thing we did, definitely one of the things on Mykonos I'd highly recommend, and you should definitely put on your bucket list, is there's a place called Scorpio's, and it's good on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, apparently. And we went on Tuesday night. It was off the chain. I mean, we got to see the sunset from our dinner, and then we had this really cool grouper, like prepared table side. It was just like amazing food, awesome. And then we went over to the club side. They're playing like deep house and tech house. It's just a good vibe. The sound system was rocking. And then we ended up getting bottle service over there and just had a fantastic night. Awesome time. From there, the next day we ended up taking taxi, and we had an Airbnb in the town part, so we stayed on the beach a couple days, and we went over to the town part of Mykonos, and we went out to a place called Bombonera. We ended up walking in there our first night in town, and ironically, one of my customers, I see him standing there, he saw me, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? He's one of my customers from Vegas. He's like, I'm the owner of this place. I'm like, no way. So I totally didn't remember to text him that he lived in Greece and everything. We hung out with him that night. We went up to his place, and then we went to another after-hours place called Gazelle. Pretty rocking time. time in Mykonos. Definitely enjoyed it. It was definitely a kind of mini Vegas is what I kind of think of it as. It was a lot of fun. People were getting pretty tore up, and it's just an all-night type of party. The sun was coming up. We ended up going out for a nice dinner the next day and doing the same thing over. We ended up going to Bonbonniere, a couple other places, a place called Santorini, which was really cool, and then another place actually called Void. Did some bottle service there, and we had Guy Gerber spinning, so my kind of music was pretty rocking. Then we ended up taking another ferry. It wasn't too bad the next day because it was a little more windy. We're out there in the scorching sun, sweating to death. We took a ferry from Mykonos to Athens. Got an Airbnb here in Athens. That's from right outside the Airbnb here. You can see all the small cars. Obviously, I'm in Greece, and it was a little bit windy. I was going to shoot a video up on the Parthenon, but it was just too windy. I didn't think I'd get some good sound quality up there. And there's just so many people up there today. It's like Saturday, so it's like major tourist destination. But I'm catching the last little bit of sunlight here on Saturday. Tomorrow, early in the morning, we're heading to Spilt, Croatia. We're going to go to Ultra tomorrow night. Some of my more favorite DJs are playing on the Resistance stage. You got Carl Cox, you got Joseph Capri.